Well, it's been an epic journey, but this is not the finale of Let's Play Ocarina of Time, but this is the Mississippi King welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Ocarina of Time. And in this episode, we'll tackle the remaining sections in Ganon's Tower, and we'll actually finally dispel the entire barrier by dispelling the barriers that remain. And first up is the ice section, which of course is based on the ice cavern. And of course, just like the ice cavern, it relies on the blue fire as well as block puzzles. In the last episode, by the way, we actually managed to get to Ganon's castle. We managed to get the golden gauntlets, and then used the golden gauntlets to get double defense, which means that there are no more items left for us. We are scot-free.
As for the block puzzles, I may as well speed this stuff up. Because, who wants to watch me go through all of this? It's understandable why people may not really care for this. But, I kind of enjoy block puzzles. They're kind of interesting, and especially like the block puzzles in the mansion in Twilight Princess. Actually, I really enjoy them because they require you to think outside the box. And it's very fun just trying to come up with solutions to it while figuring out the solution. And, in fact, it kind of reminds me of these block puzzles in the ice cavern and in this ice section, although noticeably harder. That's a good thing in my book. But with that, we're done with the ice section.
So now that means we've dispelled the ice barrier. Hooray for that! The water barrier, actually. The water barrier is dispelled! Hurry up! So, what's next is I'm actually going to be tackling the light section. That's interesting because, there is no light temple, but there is a light section, and I'm not really sure what that's based on. It's possible that it's based on, a light temple that the game originally was supposed to contain, or maybe it was originally supposed to contain, I'm not sure. But before I do that, I would like to show off a secret room where you can buy some supplies from business scrubs. That can be useful going forward. One of them sells a green potion, and I may need that because, we're going to be using quite a bit of magic. You kind of need to use magic in order to progress, in order to defeat Ganondorf. So I'm going to take some time out of the way to get it. Actually, what am I saying? I don't really need it. I could actually go without it, but I mean, what else am I going to do with all of the rupees I have? It's like, what's the point of having them if I don't use them? Speaking of rupees, I haven't actually talked that much about the reward for the gold Skulltula hunt. It's terrible. Because it's like you go through all of that effort, and instead of being rewarded with some sort of super move or something that's really cool, or with a neat item or anything, really, you're rewarded with freaking rupees. So what are them scrubs doing there anyway? I mean, who are they? I guess it doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. Anyway, if you go to the light section, it's actually blocked by another boulder. it's not true that, like, you can do them in exactly any order you want. You kind of have to do the shadow section before the light section. But still, for the most part, you can do them in any order you want. And, like, by entering it, like, that is quite an epic throw, just chugging it into the barrier, and it just completely shatters. This is, like, pretty much endgame. I mean, there are some more chests, but there's not much contained in them. Well, we will be finding the boss key, maybe in this episode, but if not, then very shortly. Definitely in the next episode. And, we're almost done, folks. But, I should actually talk about the light section. There's a spot where you play Zelda's Lullaby, and there's a part where you collect a bunch of rupees within the time limit, where boulders circle around a room. And actually, that part kind of reminds me of the Spirit Temple, because I could have sworn there was a similar room in the Spirit Temple, which leads me to believe that if they did originally intend to make a light temple, then elements of it turned into the Spirit Temple. But actually, some people have suspected that they originally intended to include like a wind temple because of well, I'll talk about that later, but for the ice temple, some people suspect that the water temple was originally going to be an ice temple because of the way the medallion works, and because of the water section more resembling the ice cavern. Oh, also, there's a really nice fake out because the actual barrier, the place where you dispel it, is hidden behind a secret wall. So it's like you get here and they pull a fake out on you because it's like that wall is not actually a wall. So you can't get complacent here, you have to pay attention. And of course, when we dispel the light barrier, we're greeted by Raru. So yay.
The light barrier is dispelled! Hurry!
So, with that, the only section left is the forest section. But before I talk about that, I figure I'll talk about, like, how a lot of people have speculated that, like, originally the developers may have intended to include a wind temple and an ice temple because, well, as you'll soon see, the forest section, which also relies on a fight with a wolfos and lighting some torches, which I think the forest temple did include some torch lighting mechanics, but I'm not totally sure on that. The fight with a wolfos it definitely had, but it also relies on wind. And like the fans that we saw earlier in the Shadow Temple. And these do not appear anywhere in the Forest Temple. So it seems to be an indication that they originally wanted to include a wind temple, but for some reason changed it to a forest temple. As far as I know, this is just speculation, but I'm not totally sure. It's interesting to think about. And here with the torches, you can just use Din's fire and the fire arrows, and boom! You're in. We can actually head to the part that is kind of interesting because, like, it really doesn't seem to resemble the forest temple at all. Of course, some people speculate that it was originally a wind temple, and for a similar reason, people seem to think that, like, the ice the ice section of Ganon's tower, as well as the way the medallion looks like a snowflake, seems to indicate to a lot of people that they originally wanted to make an ice temple instead of a water temple. But anyway, the next part is coming up. With each of these sages, it seems there's a personal connection with Link, and I think that's interesting. I mean, Raru is the most forgettable of them, but besides him, all of them are childhood friends, and they all seem to just be friends with Link or people that he knows. And I think that gives the connection with the sages more depth. It adds more of a personal connection to the story. Like right here, we're greeted by Saria once we dispel the forest barrier. And we've known Saria since the start of the game, so they all know Link. The forest barrier is dispelled! Hurry up, MK! And it's because of this personal connection that makes the story feel so rich, but anyway, we've now dispelled all of the barriers, which means we can finally begin our journey up to Ganon himself. And that will be quite the journey, I must say. So, get ready. We're going to be fighting a lot of enemies. So, strap in and get used to it. I mean, 20 hearts is like way more than enough than I need. Really, this game isn't that hard. It's because you get so many life upgrades, and plus the double defense, it makes it a joke. And really, I think the story is about Link's journey to redeem himself for his mistakes as a child. And same with Zelda. Both of them seem to want to atone for some foolish mistakes they made when they were younger. It's a powerful story, and one that I find holds up very well. I mean, this game's story is just... it's incredible. I love it. I know I joke about this game a lot, I know I've poked fun at it in a few instances, especially with the gold sculptural reward. But if I'm being honest, I absolutely love this game. It's so incredible. The story is just so impactful and memorable. And the music is emotional and has so much power to it. You know, it's not something I'd listen to a lot. It's not something that I'd play on repeat. But it has so much emotional weight to it. And I'm glad that they went that direction instead of just opting for a more catchy soundtrack. Because it really enhances this game's appeal as an emotional work. The impactful cutscenes stick in the mind, and they remain memorable long after the game is over. It has so many fantastic moments, and the cutscene design just adds emotional weight to the game. It has admittedly been a long journey, but it's one that I do enjoy. And we now have the boss key, by the way. It's guarded by 2 Stalforts. I'm still not sure about the plural, but anyway, once you kill them, then you can take the boss key. And that, I believe, is the last treasure chest in the game. So, I don't know that we've opened every chest, but that's still a lot. It's been quite the journey, I must admit. And it's been difficult to get through in a number of places. Admittedly, there were times when I just didn't feel like making a video, but you know, I've just managed to push through, and now, as you're watching this, hopefully in February, you'll be able to hear what I have to say, that like this wasn't an easy thing to make. This game was the one that got me into the series, and it's one that will stick with me for a very long time. For long after I'm done playing it. But these 2 Iron Knuckles, by the way, they are the last enemies that we'll fight before facing off against Ganondorf himself. So, yeah, we're that close. We really are just about at the end of the game. In fact, that's the door right there. The door to Ganondorf himself. There are a few things I want to do, though, before I head in, just so that I can be prepared. Well, that will have to be it for this video. This is the Mississippi King signing out, and in the next episode, we'll fight Ganondorf, so see y'all next time for the finale. Yes, the finale of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this video. It helps the channel, I guess.